Stage collapsed. Luckily for us, it collapsed when the bride and groom were not around. We've had a wedding where their dresses were ruined. We made bridesmaids' dresses in 12 hours. The MC didn't show up in the event, and we've been following up. Oh, I'm coming, and then someone calls and say, oh, we saw your MC in another town. I mean, my name is Barrister Mrs. Ifoma Okoye. I'm the creative director of STM Magical Creations.
Hi everyone, my name is Asitonka Agri-Aba. I'm the founder of 3003 Events. I'm also a YouTuber.
So the bridesmaids, the designer that was supposed to make their clothes, for some communication reason, whatever it was, we've had a wedding where their dresses were ruined. Yeah, like totally. And the thing is, they couldn't come for fittings because they were all in separate places, in Lagos, and so they all had to come to Bays where it was made, which was in Enugu where the wedding was happening. And they came on a Thursday, for example, and this was a Saturday wedding, and it was a mess. Like, it was a total mess. And you can imagine. So the summary is, we made bridesmaids' dresses in 12 hours. Bridesmaids' dresses for 5 to 6 ladies in 12 hours. So this was from the evening of Friday to the eve of the wedding till the wedding morning. They're about 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 8-ish. I think the last person got there at 11 a.m. But yeah, that was it. So you can imagine the pressure. Like, it was one of the things that, oh my God, because at that time we couldn't rent. They all had different sizes. It had to be uniform, but we just had to make it work. We got fabrics, we got another designer, but you know the thing about this experience is, in the end, it turned out better than the first design. So, but that was horrible. Like, that was something you didn't want to deal with on a wedding morning or the eve of a wedding. Trust me, you have other things to think about. You have challenges of setup, but I mean, bridesmaids' dresses. In fact, I think the bride's robe also had issues. It had to be remade. Even their robes. In fact, all the outfits, horror. Like, can I... See, guys, it's not all the glitz and glamour. Yeah, we have our moments. Like, so sometimes I wouldn't say you don't even plan a plan B for a bridesmaid's dress, because you're like, oh, it's gonna turn out nice. And we're following up. But you know something about making a dress and the fitting was totally off for them. And this whole thing about, but you know, there are lessons. You keep picking up, you keep learning. You know, the whole thing of sending sizes, styles that are complicated. It was a mixture of a lot of things, but I would say the blame is shared. But you know, this kind of thing, you can't dwell on the blame. As a planner, you have to take responsibility for everything where you have to take responsibility for, and you have to make amends. You have to make it work. And it doesn't matter if it was the designer that messed up. It doesn't matter if they had communication issues of the style or whatever, and you try to make it work and bring it. If it doesn't work out, you find a way to fix it. That's what we're doing. We're not Jesus Christ, but we just find a way to make it work and fix it. So for us, those were 2 major horrible experiences. Why? Because it was so into the time of the actual event. It's another thing when you've had something maybe 2 weeks before, or 1 week or 2 days, but this was literally the wedding day or the eve of the wedding. And so we've had a couple others, but I think these 2 they take the cake. We've had some where the MC didn't show up in the event, and we've been following up. Oh, I'm coming, and then someone calls and say, oh, we saw your MC in another town. I mean, oh yeah, and we're like, Okay. But luckily, we'd already called a plan B MC and he had showed up, but, just on standby. So when we heard that, we were like, okay, let's just roll. You have to roll. Like, you just have to. When you're having a show, the show has to continue. I mean, that's what we do. So yeah, it's been a blast sharing our horrors. Trust me, this ones take the cake. There are other minor ones, but these ones are major on our list. So yeah, we've had them. The good, the bad, and the downright ugly.
So today I'm going to be talking about my most horrible experience as an event planner. So many, so many. But basically, I term most of these horrible experiences like mishaps. So we've had situations where probably the cake has fallen down. Yes, it happens. Fault from baker, fault from vibration, let's say the speaker vibration or all of that. Then we also have situations whereby drinks didn't show up, or there's no water, or caterer did one thing or the other. But the one I would term as my most horrible experience was an event where the vendors were not paid. Like, they were paid parts, but their balance did not come, and I basically had trauma after the event. Like, it worried my mental health. Imagine vendors. I think for me, that was very horrible, because a lot of people have put their lives, put their work into the events. The event planning industry hires a lot of people. So if you owe a photographer, you're not just owing him, his staff, the lights guy, the assistant, and everything. So that period, I was getting a lot of calls like, oh my God, ma, when are they going to pay? Are they going to pay? And that particular event tops the most horrible experience, like tops it. And even till today, I think it has even taught us as a company, when I have situations whereby the payments plan and all of that is not in my control, I would have to drop the job. So that particular one goes for like my top rank horrible experience. So try as much as possible for me to give a solution. If you're a client that probably want to do your event by yourself, you have to be sure that there's a plan in place for all your vendors. I know a lot of people feel like you need to punish the vendor for not doing a certain thing and withholding their payments. That is absolutely wrong. I know that there are vendors that, of course, misbehave, and then that you can, come to an agreement with them. But if it has not been in place before the event, withholding payment is like cheating the person. It's really sad. It's not good. If you do that, it's not nice. Also, you can try to probably have an event planner, so that way you're secure based on the fact that you give them the balance and tell them, okay, do not pay the photographer till my album comes, but the money is not with you, it's with the planner. So that way she can always disperse. I think as a company, we've been lucky to work with very fantastic vendors, and vendors that if and when they misbehave, they're upfront. They'll tell me, please, I want to refund. And for me, that balances the industry. So we have people that we know mishaps happen. I mean, there has been an event where the stage collapsed. Luckily for us, it collapsed when the bride and groom were not around, and it was up in less than 30 minutes. Everything went on. These are things that happen behind the scenes. And then if you're working with proactive vendors, we can work with it. But for me, the top horrible ones is when clients decide in their infinite wisdom not to pay. Now that's wicked. That's wicked. Like, it's hellfire type of wicked, sha. But of course, if the vendor is wicked, then we can now come to an agreement. But in this situation, this particular one I'm talking about, they didn't do anything wrong. They just decided that they were not going to pay certain vendors. Until today, that event is not, like, I won't even wish that kind of situation on my worst enemy. So that's my horrible experience. Hope you enjoyed it.
So it's been nice having the conversation, and we learn, we take our experiences, and we come. So the important thing is to communicate. You have to let your client know the truth. There's nothing to hide, but you have to pass that information in a way that will not ruin the day. And so there are informations you keep till you fix it and you pass it. The important thing is let them know everything that eventually went down, and you have to find a way to fix it. No matter, let the blame and whatever come later. Do the talking, do the whatever happened, just get the action going. That's the important thing. So thank you, and it's been a nice chat.